Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another kind of world building episode for the Voyager's Guide to Ravean. Today, we're going to cover another one of the homebrew gods and goddesses. As we jump down along the side here, we're going to cover the Crimson Tactician. If you've been keeping up with the campaign so far, you might have run into a few of the details with the Crimson Tactician. One of my players, Sudi Velignacia, she is a cleric of the Crimson Tactician, which makes it an extremely entertaining thing to be able to watch this little chaos monkey kind of just go. She winds herself up and goes banging her cymbals the whole way, which is amazing to see with the group dynamic. That is all in part, of course, with the character design, but also fits very well with the Crimson Tactician's ideals. The Crimson Tactician is a lawful evil goddess of war, revenge, and assault. She is most commonly known to be a goddess that preys on the weak of the world and offers them promises of strength, revenge, really anything that they desire in return for their service. She is a goddess of pettiness and cruelty, and her rage is not easily swayed once occurred. The Crimson Tactician otherwise fancies herself a ruling queen, even amongst the gods and goddesses of the world, an attitude that does not afford her many friends on the divine sense. The Crimson Tactician is commonly depicted as a woman in a red veil and cloak, with burning red eyes below that veil. She appears to be beautiful and alluring beneath this veil, but she is a truly wicked goddess, willing to throw most anyone into the meat grinder in service to her and her goals. While a lawful deity, she does see herself as the highest being in the universe, and in recognition of this fact, attributes herself as the ultimate rule of law for all of creation. The Crimson Tactician seeks out the weak and vulnerable in society and works to tempt them into her service. Those that serve as her followers are comparable to the servants in the court of this queen. The Crimson Tactician's court, in and of itself, is inherently a dangerous place to be, with many of the things the tactician needs and charges her subjects with being dangerous and deceitful in nature, with limited insight into the true nature of the task. The Crimson Tactician is a manipulative goddess that uses her skills to move people into position like pawns on a chessboard. Her ideals are held by those that she takes under her banner. Listen to and honor your goddess. No other gods are true gods. Follow your base instincts, they are often the most true. Never ask for forgiveness, you need nothing from anyone but your god. Alright, so we'll break her down a little bit. The first is on the bottom left-hand side. You can see her holy symbol tends to be a queen's chess piece. And interestingly enough, she is featured in one of the Halloween videos that I ended up putting out a little bit back. I'll put a link up in the iCard for you. But the Crimson Tactician, seeing herself as queen of all of existence, sees herself as this ruling authority. That makes it so that she has the authority to do whatever the hell she wants. And if you don't want to do it, or you go against her, then you have stepped against your queen and you should be punished. And she has the authority to do so because she rules all of existence. That tends to be her mentality. So we've seen my player, Sudi, that even the minute that she started talking briefly with the Scarlet Maiden, the Crimson Tactician took high offense to this. And it's the equivalent of a lord or a lady of the court coming slightly under fire and falling out of the favor of their queen. And over the course of the campaign so far, Sudi has, in a sense, turned her back on the Crimson Tactician in favor of this other goddess, which we already know the Crimson Tactician doesn't see as a real goddess. She's the queen. How can anybody else step into that? So as far as she's concerned, Sudi has walked away from divinity and walked off with this peasant girl, someone that is so wholly unworthy of worship and praise that it is such a slight and an affront to the actual queen. Her goal now is more likely than anything to punish Sudi if she can ever get her hands on her. So, that being said, the Crimson Tactician kind of works on people and knows people well enough to use them. And the way that I designed her, especially if you were to watch the Halloween episode that we put out for her, um, the Crimson Tactician is a goddess that has been betrayed before. She is this one scorn. She's been burned by mortals in the past, so she has no real love for mortals so much as they're useful pawns. She can use them to manipulate the events of the world in her favor, and she can manipulate them because she has no respect for them. She has no actual comprehension or understanding of the complexity of mortals versus it doesn't matter, they're all pawns anyway. Why should I care? Is kind of her idea. It's more of a, how do I get what I want by moving my chess pieces, and what chess pieces do I have to sacrifice to be able to accomplish my goal? So she will throw anybody away if she needs to. And so the minute that Sudi turned her back on her, the expectation is, well, she probably found another chess piece and she's willing to sacrifice Sudi now. But she's less willing to sacrifice Sudi so much as she's hoping to find that pawn and crush it and behead it and do all of these things so that nobody else does the same. She has to be an example now. So it's fitting. Her holy symbol is a queen's chess piece, one of the most powerful pieces within a regular chess game, but not the most powerful. It doesn't matter in any sense within the game of chess. You can lose your king, your queen, any piece to a pawn, which is part of how I want her to be played within our campaign. And for my players that may be watching and listening to this, you guys have, and as a player in general, immense power. You have the power of an actual human mind versus just NPCs within a world. You are dynamic and are able to move yourself into positions that will be advantageous later. Working together, an army of pawns can take down the queen, no matter how powerful she actually is. And that's how I want to help afford this, is it might be too far ahead of you for now. But in time, Sudi can end up turning and eventually destroying or humbling this Crimson Tactician, getting what she needs out of all of this, and then also looking at the tactician and putting her in her place. That is the power that players will have over any and all of the gods on this left-hand side. It doesn't take that much for them to be able to put themselves into a good position to understand and address and deal with this, which is what I wanted to highlight. And so the Crimson Tactician is a very good goddess to be able to highlight this differences. She is an extremely powerful, extremely vain, and arrogant goddess who feels as though she deserves the world and is not willing to give anything of actual substance to her followers to accomplish it. It is a matter of numbers. How many and what does she need to do tactfully to accomplish her goal without having to put much of herself on the line? So, don't be like the tactician. Keep in mind that it doesn't take that much to be a force for good in the world. It doesn't take much to make a difference. So be the difference that you want to see. I will see you all within the next video. Bye.